experience in the training or talent development profession, primarily in retail and restaurants, so with Wolf, Camera, Zaxby's, and Crystal. And certainly when I started, I didn't know what I know now, and things were different. I think we don't use VHS tapes anymore. So what I have learned, and I'm going to marry what both of you said, I think. Well, how would it be great for you all if you could somehow prove your value every time you did an initiative, right? So my perspective on ROI as a service is that that's exactly what you provide, and I think I wrote some notes down. This is my standing joke. These aren't cheat sheets. This is performance support. So you got to do one thing. You got to try to find the true value from the executive team. Then you got to look for the proof that you did something about it, and then you really got to communicate. Because if you don't do it, who's gonna? Nobody. So I think return doesn't have to necessarily mean money, although I've worked on an initiative where we said, we reduced turnover by 10 points, and we need to spend $250,000 on this LMS. Well, we'll get $2 million back. But what I find at the end of the day is what really happens, especially in the last year or two, is you do the initiative and you're ready to do the proof, and they're like, well, here's your other 3 assignments you need to work on. Nobody wants to take time to prove it actually worked. So I think instead of looking for the money, you really just need to look for the really value that the people that you're serving. It might be the executive team, might be a client. And I think you do that by asking what the value is to them. Frankly, back in the 90s, we did a lot of classroom and flew a lot of people in and spent a ton of money. And the best thing that happened in one of my classes was one of the students was on an airplane with a friend of the president, and he just said, I love the class and I can't wait to get back to work. So I can tell you the value, the intrinsic value to the president was like, this is working. But he wanted that, right? He wanted that for his company. So I love the questions. The ones I typically ask are to the folks you're serving or the executive is, what makes your hand on the steering wheel on the way home? Because that's the real problem. If you can find out that's what you need to solve. Or, what is the business problem in your opinion? What do you think we can do about it? Because then they're already answering your question. Because nobody has time to go through ADDIE and do all the analysis and do the proper instructional design and do the development in India, like somebody's saying, it takes so long. So get to the root of what the value is to the person you're serving quickly. And then I think if you can do the return on investment, we did an initiative where we saved $3.5 million in travel costs by investing in $50,000 in a platform and educating more people how to use it. You can do that if you have time. But often, I think you just look for a small case study of work. So I think I saw 70-20 or something. It's like, folks go to class and only 10% of people do something about it. I think any intervention you have, you can find a success story. People who do use it, and they do exactly what you intended them to do, and you just find that success, and you can extrapolate out if everybody used it, it would be that. But you can highlight and applaud them, because my last point was find the value, find the proof, and just communicate. Because I'll tell you, at least in our industry, nobody's going to do it for us. So find that success. And a management philosophy I've always held is that the job isn't done, the task isn't done until you've communicated up that it's done. Does that make sense? Yes. So I'll end with saying I think the real way to do ROI as a service, the real way to prove your value to everybody is find out what it really is, find proof that you took care of it, and then communicate that.